Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have a quick update about Donald Trump's unqualified nominee for the Department of Defense. As you guys probably remember, this is former Fox News host Pete Hegseth. So in 2017, I shared with you the other day, a woman had accused him of rape. One of her friends actually sent a letter to the Trump team telling them all about this. And I'll explain why for those who may have forgotten or didn't hear the first story. But Hegseth, of course, denies all of this. He said, no, this was consensual, and she is just trying to cover up for cheating on her husband. Well, it had come out he paid her. He paid her off to keep her silent, which raises some questions, right? If you are so innocent, why are you paying someone? So the police report was just released. Somebody had made a public records request. And so new details that hadn't been previously shared are now out in public or being reported on. So what came out is that an ER nurse is the one who actually contacted the police because, as I mentioned the other day, the accuser went in and got a rape kit done. So the accuser had apparently told the nurse that she suspected, quote unquote, something may have been slipped into her drink. The accuser is, as I mentioned the other day, is referred to only as Jane Doe. We don't know her name yet. But there were also two women cited in this police report. These are two witnesses. And they said that Hegseth placed his hand on their thighs and he was trying to get them to go up to his hotel room. So one of the women told these officers, she asked Jane Doe, the accuser, the alleged victim, for help and said, you know, he's being aggressive, blah, blah, blah. So this tracks with what we've heard before and what the letter from her friend said. So the accuser, Jane Doe, she goes up, she confronts Hegseth, tells him, you know, you need to back off. They start arguing. And as you may remember, she had also been tasked because they were out at a hotel for a Republican women's event. And he was a featured speaker at this event. So she had been tasked, she had been given the responsibility of making sure that he got to his room on time so that he could get a good night's sleep and so that he would be up in the morning in time to get to the airport for his flight home. So this woman in the police report says they argued. She remembered Hegseth telling her that he was a quote unquote nice guy. And then her next memory, according to the police report, is being in an unknown room with Hegseth. And then she said that Hegseth took her phone, took it out of her hands, blocked the door, and then, quote, Jane Doe remembered saying no a lot. The accuser also said that at this women's event, all of the women had consumed, quote unquote, much more alcohol than normal. And much of the encounter with Hegseth occurred after things became, quote unquote, fuzzy. She also said she suspected something may have been slipped into her drink, which I mentioned before, but she told the police this. And then Hegseth told the officers that he was repeatedly checking on her during this encounter, during this, you know, whatever happened with them in that room, to ensure that she was okay, to, you know, make sure she was comfortable. He said, oh, I didn't want her to get into trouble. And he said that he showed, quote unquote, early sign, or she showed, I should say, early signs of regret, but the police report didn't elaborate, or he didn't elaborate, I guess, in the police report about what that meant, like why he believed that she was regretful. So Hegseth's attorney and a witness described the woman when she was at the bar with Hegseth as quote unquote coherent. They described Hegseth as quote unquote very intoxicated. The interesting part though is that the police report says that Hegseth himself told the police, yeah, I was quote unquote buzzed, but I was not intoxicated. So that, you know, directly contradicts what his attorney is saying, because his attorney, remember, was saying, oh, she was totally fine, totally with it. She was not intoxicated. She came on to him, blah, blah, blah. My client is the victim here. Essentially, that's what he said. So Hegseth, like I said, he agreed to pay her after she threatened litigation in 2020 because the police said, we're not going to file any charges. So Hegseth is now saying, and I guess, his attorney has said since then, well, he was concerned about the publicity. He was concerned that he might lose his job at Fox. Fox, yeah, really? Fox News is going to fire a man for something like this? I mean, hello. Does Richard Ailes ring a bell? How about Bill O'Reilly or, any of the, take your pick. Name a man at Fox News. I mean, they didn't care about this stuff. Why would they fire him? So anyway, the Washington Post said, and this is noteworthy, that these documents, this court or the police report, does not say how the police assessed this woman's allegations. It did not address the veracity of her claim versus his claim. And this police report also, basically, it does confirm that, the video footage was reviewed. And yes, she seemed coherent, whereas he looked drunk. But it doesn't say, and they said, quote, characterize the woman as the aggressor. So that's really key because, again, his attorney is saying, oh, she was the aggressor. She came on to him, blah, 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 blah. Police report doesn't say anything about that. So, here's the thing. As I've mentioned before, I don't drink, but I used to when I was younger. And people couldn't tell that I was drunk. There were times when I was really drunk and people were shocked to hear that from me afterward because I did not appear drunk. So some people look drunk when they're drunk and act the fool, and some people don't. So it's very possible that, yes, she had been drinking. I mean, she's told the police, we had more drinks than normal, right? So she could have been drunk and he could have slipped something. Not saying he did. He denies all of this and there's no evidence. And again, I bring up the fact that we're still not hearing, and maybe this was shoddy police work, but we're still not hearing if the police actually asked for any kind of blood work, any kind of, lab results to see if there was something in her system when she went to the hospital. And again, I go back to the fact that, would you really concoct this elaborate story? Would you go to the point of going to the hospital, getting a rape kit? I mean, I don't know. Maybe to save your marriage, you would. I don't know. I find it odd. This guy, as I mentioned before, does not have the greatest of character. He is, I think he's been married now like 3 times, right in Donald Trump's image, right? Of course he's a fan of Donald Trump. Cheated on I don't remember if it was his first wife or his second wife with one of the producers at the show, knocked her up. I mean, yeah, he's not a good guy. He wrote that book about going off on transgender people, and he doesn't want women in combat, not transgender women, women in general, wants them out of combat, doesn't believe that they should be there. I mean, he's a pig. In my opinion, he's a pig. So, and that's an insult to pigs because they're actually very loving, caring, playful animals and highly intelligent, more intelligent than dogs. So yeah, maybe that's the wrong word for him. Anyway, this is all, irrelevant though, it seems, because senators are now already saying, yeah, I think he's probably going to get through. I think that he's probably going to make it. So, I guess don't say we didn't warn you. If there are more skeletons in the closet that come popping out, don't be shocked, senators, because this was right out there up front. The guy obviously didn't tell the Trump team about this. because they say they were caught off guard by it. Now, they could be lying, but who knows? Anyway, I will keep you posted. But yeah, just, a whole White House full of alleged, accused sexual predators. Go figure, under Donald Trump. I mean, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, I'll keep you posted. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.